All right. Can you guys hear me? You guys are probably going to get some background noise from my mic out of the way here. From my 3D printer over here because it's running. Sweet. I don't know. I was bored. I'm sitting here in the dark because I can't run my ceiling fan and stuff. And so I turned on my studio lighting. I was like, I guess I'm just going to go live while I'm watching this thing spew out some plastic and do some of my testing. So I just figured I'd just see what everybody else is up to. I didn't see any lives of anything interesting going on. So I decided that I guess now's a good time for me to go live for a little bit. I guess if any of our other groups decide to go live, I'll jump off. But my studio's a mess. I've been doing a lot of work on my 3D printer and getting it up and running. She is currently printing a retraction tower so I can test the retraction. I did a temp test on it, which is what this is. So basically it does the different temperature settings to find the best temperature setting, which for my printer is really this top one up here. So it's about 190 degrees C. So now we need to test the retraction level of the filament on it. Let's see who's all in here. Sorry, welcome in Thompson, Dion, welcome in. Jeremy T, what's up, brother? Welcome in. Madness Comic Book Network's in the house. Welcome in. All right. Yeah, I don't have really any topics for discussion today. My son's in here. He's on the floor in here working on his schoolwork, I guess, and texting his girlfriend. And I just been working on the 3D printer. I actually got this one connected up to my computer, so I don't have to put the little USB disk into it. I can print directly from my printer or my computer. So other than that, I did. What's up, Nitro? Welcome in. You're getting some groceries? No worries, brother. You do what you got to do. I just was bored and decided to go live because there was nobody else out going live that I wanted to watch. You get your groceries done. So can you guys hear the 3D printer running in the background? It'll sound like little machine scratching noises. Sweet. That about 25 minutes, Nitro. That's like the perfect time for you to start cracking open a beer. All righty. So what have I done? I did put out my initial build video on this printer. I am working on part 2 of the video where I installed the all-metal hot-end extruder on it, which that's what's running right now. I did put my bed leveling springs. I replaced those with the rubber bushings, and I also put on the PEI sheet on top, magnetic sheet, so getting rid of that glass plate up there. I have a stack of goodies sitting over here for my 3rd video. Once I get going on the 2nd video, get that edited, I'm almost done with it. I just needed to get this information so I can finish my outro for the video and get all of that put up, and then we got more stuff. I've got some linear rails on the way to change the X and Y axis out from the roller system to a linear bearing system, so we're going to be doing that. I also have a Big Tree Tech board the reason why I'm asking about the noise of the printer is because it is very noisy right now. So on the current board, there's these little stepper drivers that actuate the stepper motors. And with actuating those stepper motors, they're not really the greatest. So you can get what's called a silent board for it that makes it a little bit quieter, so you don't hear the noise coming from the stepper motors. So we're kind of Creality makes one that's a swap out, but you can't change or add additional steppers to it. So I picked up Big Tree Text board that I can have up to, I think it's 6. Yeah, I believe it's 6 steppers on it. And the drivers are replaceable. So it comes with a little chip that you put in there with a heat sink, and you can adjust them. And it becomes just more variable in the printer. So we're going to be doing that. We're going to do a whole conversion of the electronics to a back electronics box on the back side. It's going to get completely enclosed in plexiglass to basically make a controlled environment so we can print things like ABS in it. Well, that coming in a future video. I've also got a Raspberry Pi system for it with a touch screen, so we can actually do more communication that way. And I can wirelessly print to the Raspberry Pi. The big conversion will be in probably part 3 or part 4. I haven't decided. And that's going to be the linear rails, which I've got a lot of that stuff already in, except for the linear rails, which should be here next week. Let's see here. I really didn't expect big numbers into this at all. Big numbers for me would be over 10 people, because that's about as most as I get into my. I don't do enough lives yet. Eventually, I will be doing some more lives. It's just been so busy and work hectic. Oh, thank you, Dion, for sharing me out. I appreciate it, brother. So yeah, we're just slowly moving along. I'm glad to have a 3D printer running back again. To the fact I like this one so much, I might get another one. But that's going to be down the road. I got a lot of more upgrades to do on this one before I start venturing into a second one. But I want a smaller one. This one is the Creality Ender 5 Plus. So it's the biggest one they make. The regular Creality Ender 5 is smaller. I do like the 4-pillar design, the cage design on these. So I'm going to stick with that style of design. But it's smaller. This one has a 350 by 350 by 400 millimeter cube build volume, and the regular Ender 5, I believe, is a 250 by 250 by 300 build volume. So it's a smaller build volume, but you can. It's always nice to have the two, so you can have. I can be printing like my bolt holes that I do. I can print onto this big one, and then the smaller one I can be printing something else for that same project, using that as a demonstration one. So right now it's got, looks like about 21 minutes left on this print. Once I get those linear rails installed, I can actually speed this thing up and it'll cut that print time down majorly. That's other modifications I still need to do for it. With installing this new hot end, I can go up to a 300°C temperature, which I haven't done that in the source code yet to make that adjustment, but eventually I will. But I don't really need to get up that hot until I get out of this no cage system on it, no enclosure. So once I get that enclosure on it, then I'll need to step that temperature up for printing ABS and all of that. So I'll be able to get up to those temperatures, but so it's not really been a big deal for me to change that over yet. All right. So my video quality got crummy. What's going on with my internet? See if I can move this camera a little bit closer here. Oh, maybe that's the problem. My little dial's open. There you go. So you guys can still see the 3D printer in me. All right. Add that. Comments. So what's everybody up to today? What are you working on today, Thompson? Are you working this weekend? Welcome in, Sam Coker. Thanks for showing up. Well, being I'm working around heat today with my 3D printer, I can't really put gloves on for that, just because it'll melt if I get in there. But I appreciate you stopping by, Sam. If you want to hang out, you can. If not, you can hit me up on another video and I'll put on gloves for you when I'm not working with my 3D printer today. Oh, it's been raining out there for you, Thompson? Yeah, we had a solar eclipse this morning. And we were able to see that from out here. But other than that, I don't even know what the temperature is outside currently right now. We are looking at 88 degrees here in Arizona. We got a high of 91 today, so might have to break out my sweatshirt for that one. I understand, Sam. I would have to keep taking them on and off in order to get to the printer. So I'm not going to do that today. I appreciate you for stopping by, but check back in another episode and or live, and I might be able to do that for you, but not today, sir. Oh, you're working, Jeremy? Yeah. Where's my drink? Oh, you're down in PA today? It's 50 degrees and raining there, huh? So that means Nitro's getting hit with some rain if he's close down there to Pennsylvania, right? Pennsylvania, it's just on the other side of Pennsylvania, should be the Carolinas. So either he's got it or he already had it. Let me go check my printer real quick, guys. I'll be right over here. Let's see, this one looks really good. The 0.2 or the 1.2 looks really good. Yeah. I don't like how it's appearing to the bed plate though. But let's see. All right. Oh yeah, Nitro, it's been raining there for 2 days. That sucks. My wife would love to have the rain though. Her garden would be begging for it. I'll probably give you guys a tour later on this winter of our backyard area. I know I've showed you everybody my crawler course and all of that, but I've not kind of showed you guys my wife's garden that she's created. Currently right now, she's trying to grow some more grass in the backyard. Once we get all of that squared away. We'll get some grass back there pretty much this winter. We'll be doing a little bit of remodeling in the backyard, and our garden's going to get an overhaul. But pretty much my whole side of this house is her garden area. So all right. Oh, you're further south, Jeremy? Gotcha. All right. Hey, Ashton, come up here and say hi to everybody while I go get a battery. Oh, okay. I'll be right back, guys. My son can entertain you.
Hello to everybody. I don't really know what to talk about. See, I'm very entertaining.
Anybody say anything?
Nope. See, I'm very entertaining.
You're very entertaining.
Yeah.
Oh. Here you go. Put that over there now. Had to get me another seltzer water. All right. Been working every day until Thanksgiving. Oh, yeah. Did you ever get your concrete paid off, Jeremy? Way farther south than Jeremy is. Ah, Jim Riggs, you're in the house. Welcome in, brother. Welcome in. You just got back from crawling. So Jeremy, what I'm up, or Jim, what I'm up to is I am watching paint dry. No, I'm watching plastic dry on my 3D printer. I just running some tests on my new print head that I'm doing a video on, and right now it's running the retraction test, so I can figure out how far it needs. I need to set the retraction in millimeters for the print settings. So did that. I ran a temp tower test on figuring out my proper temperature. Don't you believe him? I'm sitting here speaking. Ah, that's funny. So yeah, so I'm running that, trying to finish up the last part of the video for my part 2 on my 3D printer build. And nobody was really live, and so being that I'm sitting around waiting for Nitro Freak to go live, I'm figured I'll go live myself and wait on him. But he's had some grocery shopping to do. Let's see. How much time we got left? Oh, it still says about 10 minutes. All right. Oh, did we get a Remy dog in here? We got a puppy dog joining in. I left my door open. There's the wife's out watering her garden and everything. Probably won't get to go live now, or live. The wife has other places she needs to go, so I'm going to be out. Oh, no worries. No worries, Nitro. I guess it's my time to shine for a little bit. FML, go figure, right? So basically, you're setting the endpoints and whatnot on your 3D printer. Well, it's not necessarily the endpoints. There are endpoints on it. So on each axis, there's a limit switch, and that's where it sets the endpoint of travel. So what I'm trying to work on is to find out, there's on the extruder that's built into this head, what it does is it pushes the filament into the hot nozzle and comes out. So as it pushes down, you get the liquid filament comes out, onto your board or onto your piece. When it finishes that row and it picks up and moves to another point, it retracts that filament back, so you don't get any like oozing or extra filament coming out. So that retraction distance is important, because if it's too far back, you're going to end up with missing pieces. It's going to take longer for it to travel to get to that heat. If it's too small of a retraction distance, you're going to end up with these stringings with it moving. So you're going to end up with extra filament or striations going through it. So with that being said, you run what's called a retraction test tower, and you set it to the different increments that you're looking between, and you look at the different ones, which once it's finished, I'll show you guys what it looks like, and you'll see where it's stringy, all of a sudden the stringiness goes away, and then something else happens up here. But from what I'm seeing right now, it's looking really good. So, and it says it's about, let me bring up that screen again. Yeah, it's just shy of 10 minutes left on that print. I did find my perfect temperature for the filament that I'm using. This is a white PLA by eSun. So whenever you use a different brand of PLA, even different colors, you want to do a test of the temperature tower, especially when you're changing between brands of filament. So like maybe I have some Hatchbox down here in PLA, that the right temperature for melting that and getting the perfect bind to your, and build to your project, it may be different on the Hatchbox versus the eSun that's setting over here. So I tend to run this test on every single one of my types of PLA. And then if I end up with, opening up a brand new package, I'm not going to use the whole thing. I'll run a little temp tower first before I do a big print on it, just to make sure all the settings are good. They're very, very inexpensive, and they're small to print. This takes about an hour to do this at my current speeds, which it'll be cut down to like 20 minutes when I get the speed done up on it once I put on the linear rails. Let's see. Fonzie RC, welcome in, brother. Thank you for stopping by. But Jim, if you're in here, I'm actually going to be this winter going to be sitting watching a lot of paint dry here soon. So just on the other side of this wall that the camera's facing towards is my back wall of my studio. On the other side of that is kind of like the dining room / front living room area. And then just out my door in this way is our main living room. So we don't really use the other one. Right now it's more of stowage area. We're going to be pulling everything out of there. We're going to be repainting all of the walls. We're going to be redoing the lighting in there. And then along the back wall here of my studio, it's about I think I measured it. It's 18 feet long. I'm going to put a 24 scale crawler course on one side of that room. The other side of that room is going to be my we're going to put that that crawler course. It's going to be half natural and half man-made. So if anybody has went back and watched me build my first 24 scale crawler course, half of it's going to be designed that way, and then there's going to be a dirt and rock area that can be changed up. I'm actually also looking into putting in an aquarium in the middle of that crawler course that's going to be kind of given the presence of a lake on top. So the top of the aquarium water will be up there to simulate a lake, and then we're going to have some mesh netting that'll be down below the water line that you guys won't see. So if one of the crawlers does fall off into it, it doesn't go down into the fish aquarium part. Let's see. Oh, Harlan, welcome in, buddy. So everybody in the chat don't know Harlan Wallbaum there. That is my oldest son that is stationed in overseas right now in the Army. Hey, no worries, Fonzie. I wish I could have jumped in there sooner into your live stream. I just happened to didn't get the notification till late, and I got in there just in time to talk to you for a little bit. Harlan, you're all excited finally getting a fish tank. Yeah, it's not going to be a saltwater tank like what you want. We're going to probably do just a regular freshwater tank for now on that one. Maybe down the road after a while here, we might get our saltwater aquarium back up and running. Yeah, Fonzie, the best thing about when you're working with a 3D printer is constantly checking your levels. So I do it all the time with mine because I don't really stick with just one brand of filament either. I try to tend to use several different types just to see, maybe eventually I'll find one that I like. I do really like Hatchbox and their filaments, but on my last 3D printer, I couldn't really run anything but PLA. I tried running PETG and TPU on that, and I couldn't get it to dial in. And I know a lot of it had to do with the extruder and all of that. So when I planned on this build here, I wanted one of them direct drive extruders that got rid of the Bowden tube travel between the extruder. But it has what's called a reversed extruder. So it has a module it's a 3D printed module that mounts on the side that the Bowden tube attaches to and then runs into the top of the extruder on the other side. So it basically just works as a channel. So you run the filament up on that where the spool is right here, runs right up here to this part right there that has the Bowden tube, and then it runs up over to the nozzle or into the top of the extruder. And then your travel error, which is going to be between your extruder and your hot end, is minimal. So it's only about this big on the direct drive extruder end. Now before it was this big because you had the extruder on this side and the hot end over here, and then you had all of this travel. So this extruder was having to push all the way through that tube into your and down and still continue to push down in to get your filament to go. Now it's pulling the filament this way and then just having to push it this much to get it, so it's more precise. Now there is some adjustments on it. I can run different size filaments with this hot end. It's set up right now for 1.75, but I can buy the bigger nozzle. I can swap out the Bowden tube and I can run a larger filament through this if I really wanted to. Yeah, no worries, Fonzie. If you ever have any questions about 3D printing, let me know. I'm not the greatest at designing. I'm still working on that. But when it comes to building these things and working on them, I've dialed them in pretty good. And I have a good connection with my mechanic at work, does a lot of 3D printing. I got him on the phone. I call and complain to my son, Harlan, all the time, and he does some research on his end and gives me some pointers, and we get it figured out. Like the only reason why it's printing today is for some reason I couldn't get my USB to work on the side of the printer. So I kept putting the program in, couldn't get it to recognize the program. So I don't know what's going on there. I tried changing the names of the program and everything, and it still wasn't recognizing it. So I might have an issue with that, but that'll be fixed when I change out my board anyways. But I found that it had a USB port on the side, and I could run that directly into my computer. And then the Ultramaker Cura slicer that I use that sends the program, that worked great. It just allowed me to send it to, if I ever have to update my my printer or G coding and stuff like that in there, I might be an issue if I can't run the print file through the printer. But we'll see. See what Fonzie said. Said, me too. I have been learning about it myself and learning how to design things. It's fun. Yes. Oh, you use Cura also? Yep. So that's the cool thing about the Ender 5 is that it was just, I plugged it in. I didn't have to do anything else but plug it in. And when I booted up Cura and selected the Ender 5, it automatically found it on its port that it was connected in on my printer and allowed me to send directly to the printer to print it. Was definitely a headache earlier this morning with it, with dealing with how I couldn't get the freaking program to run. I tried to 3D print a Charmander for my son Ashton that's sitting in here. He wanted this Charmander, so I 3D printed. It was like a 7.5 hour print. So I was like, screw it, I'll print it while I go to sleep last night. So I printed it, and it didn't turn out too well. So I realized that I was using some crummy PLA, and so I opened up a brand new package of PLA, and so started this process so I could get this information to finish out my video, and we'll go from there. Eventually, I'll redo his Charmander for him so I get it done better. That's how I run my printer. It won't read the SD cards for some reason. Yeah, it was working fine all day yesterday and up, with all the build. And then even after I did the step count program upgrade for running the direct drive extruder, was working fine. This morning, I noticed it was messed up on the heat temperature. So I cleared off the bed, went and started running it again. And then I just changed out the filament and then realized I haven't ran the temp tower and retraction tower for this brand of eSun PLA on this printer yet. I opened up the package, and so I stopped the print because I was reprinting the Charmander. I stopped it, started doing this, the temp tower, and tried to get it to downloaded it onto the card, put the card in there, and then all of a sudden it stopped recognizing. So it's just like a flip of a switch. It stopped working. So I have heard that a lot of the times it's that you got to refresh the program when this happens, that it decides it doesn't want to read the SD card. So I may try reloading the exact same software. I don't know if I'm ready to upload the newer version of the software on this yet, because I really don't care about that, because I'm going to change my software completely that's in this system when I change my new board out. I have done a few 23-hour prints before. Yes. I haven't done one on this. The longest I did was the one yesterday of a 7.5-hour print on this printer, but which it did complete the print, but the supports that I used kind of fused itself to the print, so which meant that the temperature was too high on the print. Hold on, let me grab the retraction tower. Let's take a look at this guy. So I'm liking this one right here. I don't know what you guys can see stringiness wise, but let me see if I hold it up here close to the camera. So pretty much the one in the middle there looks the best to me. So you can see the different layers. See the bottom one, how the center kind of droops down, and then it starts getting a little bit better on the second tier, and then the center one looks really good, and then it starts getting worse on the third one, and then the top one is really bad. Yeah, so the second one is the 3. So I started off, now with this print head, my retraction settings are between 1 millimeter and 1.5 millimeters. So what I set up here was starting off at 1 millimeters and doing a 0.1 increment change. So the bottom layer was at 1 millimeter. The second layer was at 1.1, then 1.2, 1.3, and 1.4. I didn't even do 1.5 because I figured I was really close because I was printing everything at 1.2. So knowing that now, I'm going to change my retraction settings to 1.3 millimeters, and we will run another good print and see how that works. Let's go back here. And delete this. All right, so the next thing we want to do is print a XYZ test cube. So if we go here and print a calibration test cube and go extensions, modify G code, take that out. I'm looking to see if there is any process that I don't think I need to have any of that on there. So let's slice that. So this says it'll take 24 minutes. We need to clean the rest of the bed off if you want to do that, Ashton. I need to clean the brim off of it. So when you look, oops. All right. So while he's cleaning that off before I print it. So these are the two towers, and you have these both in the Cura software. As I just dropped it. Hold on a second. All right, here we go. So these are the two ones that I print, and they have different ones in there for different materials. So if you're using PETG, you're going to select the PETG settings to find the right temperature. Now, The retraction tower, you can use the same one no matter what filament you're using. You go in and change those settings. And Fonzie, if you need help on setting that up, I can send you some screenshots of how I set mine up to run the test, so you can do the same on yours. And I'll show you the difference. Like if you run in a regular nozzle system or hot end, I can show you how to set that up too. But it's all over YouTube on how to do this. So you run your temperature setting to figure out your perfect temperature on where it looks the less stringiness up here, which I went with this top one, which was 190 degrees C. And then you put that 190 degrees into your template for running this guy. And then you set your steps up to figure out what your retraction level is. So that's how these two are, used together. Now, the one we're going to print now is an XY cube. So it's going to look at how your retraction levels, when I set the new retraction level, to make sure that we don't got any stringiness in it. Another way you can do it is do a benchy print if you want. I did print two benchies yesterday. See, this is the first one I did, and you can see in there, if I get up close, you can see the stringiness in there. If I can get my thumb out of the way, you can see the black stringiness in there. So that's retraction issues. So that was setting a retraction at 1.1. So I changed it to 1.2 and ended up with this one, which had a little less stringiness. So I bet if I reprinted this one again at the 1.3, we'd probably be pretty good. But I haven't printed one of these cubes yet, so we're going to try that before, because printing the benchy takes about an hour on my printer, and we're just this cube is only going to take 24 minutes. So we'll get the cube printing now, and then I'll probably run another benchy for my final video that I'm going to do on it. No worries, Fonzie. I am glad to help if you have any questions on that. And I can always send you the links of some of the videos that I watch on the 3D printing, and they're not necessarily strictly on the Ender 5 Plus. It's just basically on Cura itself, how to set it up and how to run it and how to do the bed leveling for the Ender. Now, leveling this bed is the same as leveling an Ender 5 bed when it comes to the nozzles, positioning and moving it over. Now, the difference with my Ender 3 that I had is I didn't have the settings that I have in this, that I have a kind of like a 4-square pad in there, and I can choose which number I want the head to move to, and then it moves it to it, and then I can go through and put my my piece of paper underneath it and adjust the nozzle, and I can move it around by just a press of the button. On the Ender 5, I had to do that by hand, so I would just unlock the steppers, move it over to the area where I wanted to do it, put the paper underneath there, adjust it to where I had good thickness there, and then I had to hand move it over to the other side. What's up, KK? Welcome in. Thank you for stopping by, brother. How are you doing today? So right now I got it running. I've already sent it to here. It's preheating the build plate, which that is currently running at 60 degrees C. That may be something I'm going to adjust. I'm not liking on how this is forming down here. I may be running too much heat on the base plate, but we'll see how the cube turns out. And maybe I need to adjust it down. I think on my Ender 3, I think I only had it set at 50 degrees C. So I may have to adjust the build plate temperature on what I'm doing with this guy versus the other one. But every print I get, even the free prints I download, automatically set it to that, say using it at a 60 degree temperature. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. KK, I'm doing very good. I've just been sitting here twiddling my thumbs, watching my 3D printer, and figured nobody was live, so I figured I'd jump in and do a live. I don't even know how long we've been live. I'd have to go look here. 45 minutes. We've been live for 45 minutes, it looks like. Kind of wish my StreamYard would tell me that, but I don't see it in my StreamYard. Let's see. I normally print a test print to level the bed. It makes it easier. Well, that's true. I've never done that. I know people that do that. They'll look at the layer thickness. They do a test print on the beds to see how it's leveled. But with mine, this has an auto leveling mesh in it. So currently right now, you can see that it's moving to the different, like here, it's doing it twice here, then it comes over and it does it. That's what my CR Touch is doing. So it's taking a measurement map level of my bed, and it does it in 4 points across and then 4 sections back. It does 4 different rows. And then after it runs through all of that, it kind of has an idea of where the bed is, the meshing of the bed itself and its arc level. Now, there are some codes that you can get and put into the 3D printer that does multiple points. Like I had one that I think it did 6 different rows, and it did 6 different points across each row. I had that set up on my my first 3D printer, the Ender 3 that we had, and that improved it a lot. Now I haven't figured out on what I'm going to do to get more points into it. The more points you have, the better mapping you get of your bed. Just stopped in to see, hope you have a good live stream. Anyways, no worries, KK. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you coming in and saying hi. You have a good evening yourself. I try to do it with big. So I used to find notebook paper, notebook, but printer paper. I get 20-pound printer paper, and it was the perfect distance for doing it. I watched a YouTube video, and if I can remember the guy's name, I'd tell you, but I have it saved in my my watch later list. But he uses what he does is, I got one of these, and so that it's a feeler gauge, and it's a 0.02 feeler gauge. And so I use this, I'll send it to the center of my the homing, and when it comes down, I'll put this in to set my Z height in the center. And then a standard sticky note is the perfect height, and that's what he uses. So I'll take that and adjust my 4 corners, sliding this under just to get that little bit of drag. I do all of that in both all 4 corners with the sticky note, and I haven't had any issues. And then you run the auto bed leveling, and then everything's perfectly fine. Welcome in, Jim Hobbies. Thanks for stopping by, brother. Hope you're having a good day. How's your SCX6 going? Kind of made me jealous. Now I want one. So we'll see how this is supposed to take about 25 minutes to print the calibration cube. So we'll see how that turns out and see if we really need to do any more adjustments. Once you get it finally tuned in, these things run awesome. I kind of wanted one of them Bamboo Labs, but I think that everything I've already done for this one, I get an enclosure. I build a custom enclosure for it, and I don't think I'm going to need a Bamboo Labs one. What are you? Everybody's saying hi to Gems. Since I swapped out the servo last May, it's good. Sweet. What servo are you running in that? If you guys can hear that 3D printer, she's singing right now pretty good. Oh, you're running. Oh, that's right. I think you told me this before. You run the shift servos. Yep. I haven't branched out from most of all my servos. You know, I think I've told you before are the wow. The Reefs RC servos, or I'm running a stock servo in them. So when it comes down to it, I haven't really ventured out. I'm interested in trying to find a cheaper option, I think, for servos down the road. I've tried MKS. I've tried the high techs. Just as long as I'm not buying a Chinese servo, I think I'm going to be good. I know that for fifth scale stuff, I'm going to wait until Nitro tells us that his buddy Matt's got some more of those servos in, and then I'm going to probably pick up a couple of them, his fifth scale servos that he's got. But yeah, I did a lot of 3D printing with my other one, and to the fact I did a whole bunch of scale accessories for crawlers. I did little freaking 10th scale and 24 scale little road cones and barriers and coolers for the 10th scales, and I did these little Coleman grill things. I printed out a bunch of them, and I want to say it's Thompson. You'd probably remember too when I did that giveaway on it that I printed out a bunch of the scale accessories, and I want to say it was when I hit 100 subscribers, and I did that giveaway on it, and for the life of me, I can't remember who won that. It was it's the guy that plays the guitar, Thompson, that's friends with I'd have to look through my, but yeah, Send It RC servos. That's the ones that I think I want to try next. I want to try some of his, at least for the fifth scales. Why can't I remember the guy's name? I'm even Facebook friends with the guy now, and I can't even remember his name. Chad. That's right. Chad. See, I knew you would remember Thompson. So yeah, he won it. He was stoked. And Fonzie, if you're interested in a cool looking 24 scale course, I will tell you his cousin or cousin's brother, cousin's husband or something like that built this awesome freaking RC course, and they play the coolest game on this. So instead of, if everybody remembers the name of horse, so like if you're playing basketball, you're out there, you play horse, you got to shoot it, and if the other guy can't make it, you get an H, and then you move to the next spot. Whoever spells out horse loses, right? Yes, Alex be playing. it's a freaking great channel. So he built this course and he plays this game called Crawl. So it's kind of like horse, but you get a bunch of people on the little, on the course, and the first guy goes out, he picks a line, and if he makes it, he'll make it through the line. You got to come behind him and do it the same way without touching certain things. You can put, like, you can't turn past here and go, crawl up here. And he'll do it. And if you don't do it, then you get the C, and then you get all the way and you're spelling crawl. This is the coolest game I've ever seen. And I haven't been able to get a course big enough around me in order to try to play a game like that with everybody. So that's kind of my goal, is once I get this new crawler course built on the other side of this wall here, that my indoor crawler course is, I'm going to probably do a shout out to Alex be playing on his game and give him some notarization on it. But me, the kids, and the wife are going to play that game. Yeah, so you can get some good ideas on what people are doing for the scale accessories, Fonzie, off of Thingiverse and stuff like that. Most of the ones that I did, I kind of saw what other people did, and then I just designed it myself. But I have quite a few. Especially, I got this a little cooler that I made. Now the only issue is that I haven't been able to figure out how to do the hinge on it. So when I do the cooler, I pretty much, glue the lid down to the top, so it just looks like a Yeti cooler. But the Coleman Grill one's pretty cool because it opens up. It's got a little grate in it. You can see the little you can see the little burners down on the bottom, and it hinges up and down. And I use solid core electrical wire to stick through the ends to make the hinge pieces for them. I don't really sell them. I just was giving them away for raffles. So eventually I'm going to print out some new ones once I start doing more of my scale RC stuff. But right now we're just trail truck driving now. Let me see if I can find his channel. They haven't really done very much in a while, Thompson. I know when I was cleaning out some of my channels, I haven't been watching and not interested anymore. Oh, I just found him, Chad Davis. I found his YouTube channel, but he doesn't do anything on his channel. He's a support channel. Let me see here. All right, I found this channel. Now, let me find the link. All right, I dropped the link in there. So that's his channel. It's pretty cool. Might be able to find the actual video. Well, he's still posting stuff. He just did a video 2 weeks ago. I guess he just got the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and he was doing some cinematic crawling with it. here. There's that one. He actually did a video of him and his buddy did RC car bowling, that using bashers. That was freaking. That was a sweet video too. There's his course move. 3 crawlers, 1 course. Trying to find a video where he does the they play the game. Yeah, I don't even see that video anymore. Yeah, I can probably send the link to this one here. This at least shows the course. But this one's kind of cool. If you guys haven't seen his crawler course that he built, he kind of shows a good view of the course and a couple of he's got a SCX24 deadbolt. He's got a Kyosho Mini Z Toyota 4Runner that he runs on the track. But I really like his course, and his course is the one that kind of inspired my course when I built mine. Now, his course was huge. Mine was only a 4-foot by 4-foot course that I built, but there's a bigger guy that's in the video wearing a black hoodie in that one. That's Chad. He's been a long time subscriber to my channel. He doesn't really do anything with the lives, but he does comment on my videos quite regularly. He's a really good dude. He's big into the crawling stuff, though. Yeah, I haven't gotten any notifications for his stuff either. And I just looked at his he did the one video which was about almost 7.5 minutes long 2 weeks ago, and before that was 3 months, and before that 5 months. So he was hitting it hard for putting about 2 or 3 videos out every month. And then he's just kind of weaned off. Maybe it's just because of summer. Who knows? But the Alex guy's got a crap load of different crawlers and RCs and bashers. Sweet. Yeah, take a look at it, Fonzie, and you'll definitely get some ideas from his course that he does. It's pretty cool. Let's see here. Oh, I totally missed it. But if you're still in here, the freaking, I appreciate you for stopping by. I did not see it. I was too busy trying to figure out and remember this channel that me and Thompson follow. But I do appreciate you stopping by. If you're still here, well, I hope you're enjoying the stream. That is true, Fonzie. YouTube doesn't pay out. I'm not making, I'm monetized now and I don't really make anything. I think I'm averaging, with all the videos that I'm putting out, I'm averaging probably maybe $10 a month in YouTube. Besides, the couple of live streams that I got some good super chats from me, congratulating me to get monetized. It's really all thing. I haven't even gotten a payout from it yet. I still haven't reached my $100 to get my first payout. I think I'm setting at $50 and some change right now. My YouTube shorts, I'm averaging probably maybe between 1,500 to 2,500 views on my shorts. And really, when I get that, I'm only making like anywhere between 30 to 10, depending on how many I get. That's for sure, Nitro, but any money that I make off of it is all going to just go back into this hobby and stuff like that. So like I said, it's just a hobby. There's no sense on asking for it. That's not how we roll anyways. But we'll see. I've had some videos that's got some really good views. Like when I built my first crawler course, I did it in 3 videos, and the final video, which was my 3rd video, where I basically did a whole walkthrough of what we built and, showing the final product. That video was like 20 minutes long, 22 minutes long, and I got almost 5,000 views on that one video. The other two build, the build portion of videos, one was like at 3,500 views, and the other one's at like 1,500 views, and they were all half-hour long videos. And tell you the truth, those 3 videos is what kept my watch time hours up so high, because it was constantly getting views. I did that video over a year ago. I did it like a year and a half ago. 2 summers ago is when me and my wife did it, just before that, just at the end of this, not last summer, the summer before. It's still getting watch time and views today. So I can't imagine what I take in that knowledge that I've got in building this new course on. I'm sure I'll make a whopping $10 off of that one. Yes, Nitro. It's just about the hobby, having fun. If we make a couple of pennies along the way, then we make a couple of pennies along the way. Let's see how much time I got left on this cube here. Showing about 4 minutes left. From what I can see from a distance here, it looks like it's printing pretty good. So I think that I got the settings dialed in for PLA on it. Beers on me, yeah. We're drinking the white label beers. That becomes a talk when I'm sitting around the campfire with my buddies, that we talk about. Remember, you used to be able to walk into Ralph's in California, and they had a white can, and in blue writing, it was either blue writing for the light or red writing for the full flavored beer, and it just said beer on it. And it had the Ralph's logo in the corner. Yeah, that was funny. Because I said beer and Rouse, I'll probably get demonetized for it now. At least this video will. I didn't show anything. So I did get, I've got a lot of PLA, and I've that I had from before, and I've got a couple of I got 4 spools over here of PETG that I'm going to be doing some printing on. Ultimately, I wanted to get this 3D printer up and running so I could knock out some more stuff with the 3D printed boats. I did mess up the original holes, even though I coated them to death. There's just some leakage still in them, and I think I've got all of the holes taken care of. The top plate, I think that there's some issues on how that was printed, so that's where I'm going to start with, is printing out a brand new the cover, which is red. This piece here. So this piece here is I think where my issue is. It doesn't fit down into the groove perfectly. And I think my buddy, when he printed them, he knocked them out really quick. So with that being said, I'm going to do them on this printer, and I'm going to print one at a time. I'll pull all of this stuff off and put it onto the new one, and we'll see if we can get it to seat better. Because what happens is that this sets down in there, and there's that air tubing that goes around the inside, and when it sets down. But for some reason, as soon as it gets into the water and it starts moving around, it'll pop up on one side and allow water to get in there, and it gets in there, and it kills my servo. It doesn't matter how much conformal coating I put on it, it still kills it. So I got some brand new Reefs 99 micros down here I want to put in the boat, but I want to make sure I can get them watertight first. So that's my goal, is I want to get it done so I can finish. I still haven't done my trip out to the lake yet to take these boats out there, because it hasn't passed the swimming pool test first. All right, let me put this back and grab that cube off of here. All right. So I do think I have some adhesion problems. So the cube itself turned out looking really good. See if you guys can see that a little bit. Damn light's bright. Well, I know you guys can see the X. Maybe if I get closer. There you go. So you can see how the X turned out. There's the Z. Oh, Y's on this side. But this is my problem. You see how flat that is, and see how it's bulged over the sides? That, I think, has to do with my bed temperature. So I'm going to try stepping that down, my bed temperature, and see if I can get it from bulging out like it is there. Because I didn't put a brim or anything on this when I printed it. So what I might have to do is find me a kind of like a bed temperature test, I think, is what I need to find. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm actually looking at knowing that your bed temperature settings are bad. And the first thing on there, it shows a cube where it has my issues of it worked out like that. So I know that I got a problem with it. So it says they call that, I guess, elephant foots is what they call when it does this. And also there's an arcing where it kind of arcs up. I don't have that problem where it arcs up. I have a problem with the adhesion. No, I don't need a temp tower test. I think probably the best thing to do would be maybe to print one of those thin squares like what you're talking about that you do when you do your you print the thin bed level squares. That would be quick and easy. Best printing temperatures for PLA. All right. PLA is relatively easy filament to work with, it says. Yay me. So what's this picture look like? I don't know what this, what the heck? Why would it have a clothing size chart? That's stupid. How hot should my 3D printer bed be? It is beneficial to have one. Yeah, heat beds mean strong bed adhesion. Many 3D printers have the main printers don't need a heated bed, so it's possible 3D printer without it. Using a heated bed while printing will open doors for you. It's equipment freedom. Yeah. So a lot of it is just talking about using, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to step down the temperature and so I really think that this is probably one of the things that I could do is I'm going to download a bed level test for it. That's going to print one square in each corner, one in the center, and it's going to have a joining line. So it's going to do two things. It'll show how well my bed leveling is on it, but it's a thin enough square that I'll see how if it starts to curl up, that means my temperature is too high. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So if I go back to here and remove this and go. Oh, I'm missing some stuff here. Okay, so that should be, yeah, it should be a clean line, 50 plus. I normally do my PLA at 60, PLA plus at 70. See, Fonzie, and I'm running, let me see. I don't know if this is PLA plus. I think this is just regular PLA that I got. Oh, no, it is. It is PLA plus 3D filament. So I was running that, and my bed temperature is at 60 degrees. And I'm still getting a lot of like melting on it. So what I'm going to do is run the bed leveling test print utilizing, I'm going to try 50 degrees C and see what happens. So now I am using a 0.6 nozzle. That's why you can kind of see my lines a little bit bigger. So if you see there, you can see more line definition there. That's because I'm just using a 0.6 nozzle. I really don't. 0.4 nozzles can be a pain in the butt. All right. I need to change my bed temperature. Build plate temperature. There it is. So I'm going to try it at 50 degrees C and see what happens. Now that is stepping down 10 degrees. But with stepping it down that 10 degrees, if it doesn't adhere decently to it, then maybe I'll step it up to 55 and see how that works. Hold on, let me get this bed set up. All right. Little test line on the side was not coming up. I had to scrape it a little bit. All right, let's slice that. It says it's going to take 10 minutes to do this, so let's give it a shot. All right, so we're going to do it at 50 degrees. And I wonder if I can change to that camera. Let's see what happens here. If I lose video, I am sorry, guys. Oop, that's the wrong one. See there, look, you guys can see my print bed. All right, we won't change over there. Right now, it's all preheating up. Yeah, but eventually I'll have an enclosure, Fonzie, once I get to that. Well, everything does stick to that bed pretty good. That I've never used this PET. The last one I had was just the, it was a smooth one. This one's more textured. So I've actually got to pull that off and get some alcohol because there's some residue that's still on there from the previous tests that I did. You'll see it like, here, let me show you guys the bed. So if you see on there, you can see the white streaks right here and right there. I really don't want to scratch that off. So I need to get in there and do you guys actually see? Change over. All right. Yeah, so I need to get some alcohol out and and get that cleaned up and stuff like that. But it's not going to affect what I'm doing right now. Once I get the temperature set on it, then I'll pull that plate off. It's just magnetic. Pull it off, and then I can clean it off with some alcohol, and should be good to go after that. I don't want to scrape it too much. I'm not sure if that would be too low or not, but I guess we'll find out. If it's worse when I drop it to 50 degrees, then I might know that that might be my issue. I know that some people will just that first layer have the heat bed turned on, and then after like 1 or 2 layers, then they'll set their code to turn the bed off, and then so it doesn't sit there and just keep cooking the PLA. And that might be an option that I might have to go with. But I like having this bed because I don't have to use any kind of on the glass bed like I'd have to use on the glass bed to get it to adhere properly. Yeah, no, they don't like to be scraped at all. No. Let's get over here. So do we get, is there anybody else worth watching live, or don't know? And according to this, the only one I have in my live is, no, I don't have anybody. I got one of my yeah, it's one of my channels that I watch every once in a while. I don't watch his lives. I watch his videos when it comes to the Blackmagic software that I use for video editing. I watch some of his how-to videos to learn how to do some stuff via that, but that's really all that I got live right now. Nobody else is live for a Saturday. I would have think there, I don't know, like last weekend there was so many people live I couldn't keep track of everything. Yeah, see, mine came with a glass bed. It's sitting right here. So yeah, mine came with a glass bed. And surprisingly, I never had to use, with this bed, I never had to use any glue yet. But I know over time, it gets that film on it that you really can't get off. And, you know, you go take and wash it off under the sink with a little bit of soap and water, dry it up, and then it looks brand new again. But then you end up, you know, you got to put some, it's the glue sticks, you know, school glue is what people call them, the little school glue sticks. You put some of that on there and then it adheres perfectly fine. But I got rid of it and got into one of the magnetic style beds, and I never had any issues. Plus, easier to pull off. You don't have the clips on the corner that you got to secure this in. And this one didn't even come with good clips. It came with like regular, it came with these little clips, like regular paper clips, which I thought was kind of stupid, but either way, we will let's look at the 3D printer and see what it's doing. Yeah, so now it's doing the it's going to print all 4 squares. Right now it's printing the like the brim going around it. Tell you what, I can get lost in just watching these things 3D print. There was my first one. I sat out there for like 2 hours watching a print, just watching it print each layer. And my wife came in and she goes, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm watching this print." And then she kind of laughed at me and walked away. And then I realized I probably was in there too long. Saw some hair and a little chunk of, yeah, but you can see it really good right there, Fonzie, that white line in the center. It just, I don't want to scrape it too much, so I just need to get some alcohol in there to that. But I don't really have a bed adhesion issue. It seems like it was melting it too much. This stuff looks like it's sticking down and staying down with it setting at 50 degrees. Yeah, she knew I was gone. Right. And unless she said something about it, I would have stayed there. But yeah, that's the direct drive NG extruder that you're seeing printing right there from Micro Swiss. And then to the left there is the CR Touch that came with my system. I had to 3D print the mount that attaches to that you can download from Micro Swiss's website. Looks like there's some bubbling on the back side there. Yeah, that's some bubbling on the back side of that for that brim. So we'll see how the squares print on that side. But I've never really printed anything outside of printing from the center of this board or of this. So I don't know how the sides are going to look with heat displacement. But a lot of that has to do with the level. So we'll see. Likes to put those little thin lines down, doesn't it? Yep, so now it's going to put its first layer down and guess we will see. My extruder temp is at 190 degrees C. Yeah, I'm at the extruder's at 190. The build plate's at 50 degrees C. Says there's about 3 minutes left on the print. I could try. I mean, I got that off of here. So if I change back to my other camera, because you guys can't see what I'm talking about. So right here, Fonzie, you can see the top tier on here is the 190. The next one down is 195. So I guess I could try doing it at 190, bump it up to 195 and see how it prints that way to see if it gets rid of the striations that we're seeing. Because they both kind of still look a little good, if you see. It's just the top one looked a little bit better in my eyes. Yeah, that's PLA Plus. That's in the PLA Plus white. Let me change back to my other cam here. So that's what I bought. See, it even says on there that the print temperature is 205 to 225. And that's a eSun filament off of Amazon. Nitro Freak. Talking 3D printer is Chinese to me. Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I could try running it again, run it at at like 195 and see if it turns up a little bit better. I mean, lowering that print bed temperature down to 50 looks like, everything is sticking, but you might be right, especially on the back end where it was bubbling up over there. It's just not enough heat on the PLA to get it to stick down properly. Well, Nitro, just to let you know, I think that all of these printers are made in China anyways. Except for my Micro Swiss extruder on there. That is Micro Swiss is actually a US based company. So so my extruder is actually milled out in the United States. The fans that are on there are off of my old Ender 3, so that's, those are probably made in China. And I'm sure that the motor that you see sticking off to the left right there, I'm sure that that's not made in the USA. But that pretty aluminum piece behind it is. I get what you're saying, SK, but the filament is not melting. That's why you got that problem, I think. Yeah, you're probably right. It looks like it finished. Let me go grab the plate off of there. And I'll change back to this, my front camera here. Oh, wrong one. All right. So that's what we ended up with. So you can see right there, Fonzie, how it's bubbled up a little bit. That's on the back side The front side looked fine, but it's only on that back side. So let's see how well these come up. Yeah, everything else was pretty solid except for that along the back line here. You can see it's really frayed. So you might be right. I might need to step that temperature up a little bit. There's this. That's the back square. That might be the issue right there, is that it's just not melting it properly enough. We will get this cleaned off, and then we will try stepping that temperature up. I'm hoping it's not going to change my retraction. But we will see. Yeah, everything else seems to look pretty good. I guess while I have this off of here, I should get out my little alcohol and clean the pad here and get the rest of this off of here. Yeah, even those little lines that drag there is just, it doesn't want to come off. Let me grab my rag. Yeah, so the alcohol is taking it off. Just takes a little elbow grease to get it. Have you checked the tightness of the belt? Yes. So I have. And actually, I can show you. Let me go back to the other camera real quick. Ha! All right, I got that camera back. Now let's change over. All right, let me show you the so you can see it. There's no wiggle. So I've adjusted that nut on the end down here that deals with that. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. I'm trying to talk a little bit louder. And then you've got the wheels on this side that adjust the movement this way. That seems good. No movement on this side over here. But yeah, so I went through and tightened it up. Another key point of when you're doing it is when you're setting your Z height and stuff like that, making sure that you use your whatever temperature you're going to be heating your bed up to. You got to use that temperature and set your bed temperature before you some of that takes a little bit more elbow grease than I was thinking. Pour some of that in there. Yeah, I might have to. That might take a little bit more work than expected. You guys got audio and everything back then? What I did is I went into my settings on StreamYard, and apparently when I clicked on that setting thing, it did the stop cam too in the process. So no matter what I did, I couldn't get the cameras to come back on. Would have been an operator error there. A newbie error to StreamYard. Yeah, hopefully raising the temperature won't get this issue here. It might just be this PI bed that I'm using. Make all my mistakes on my first one. That way I don't destroy the second one when I get one. Some of it does not want to come off at all. Trying to use my fingernail, but I cut my nails. All right. Good enough for government work. Let me get this put back on here, and then we'll adjust that bed temperature and try it again. Yeah. Let me go in and change that preset, the extruder nozzle. We are going to change that to 195. All right. Let's slice that again. And I sent it to the printer. So we will try that temperature and see how that works. I did not look at if my extruder All right, there we go. It changed my retraction back to 1.2, so I went in and stopped it and restarted it. Changed my retraction back to where it should be at 1.3 based on my retraction. All right, got out of the way. Fun day of 3D printing. Yeah, the extruded temp is what I changed to 195. Yep, you are correct, Fonzie. Yeah. Yeah, the heat bed temp I still have set at 50 degrees, and it's sticking there, so we will see. I may even try to step that down even more because I'm printing in PLA. I know everything changes when you start printing in PETG and TPU. I know you got to have higher temps for those, so I'll have to do some testing on what bed temp would be best for that. But we'll leave it at 50 degrees for now. So right now it's heating up. We've already got the nozzle's heating up right now. It's almost at 150 degrees C. Bed is already at 51 degrees, so it should start its bed leveling test here in a minute, and we go from there. So, Fonzie RC, what are you using for video editing? Are you just using your phone or like a free software that you're using for when you produce your videos? I use DaVinci Resolve, and I've learned a lot on how to do some of the DaVinci Resolve stuff, especially when it comes to editing for the common person. But I know it is a complicated program to use. I had some conversations with Nitro a while back about what he was using versus he tried DaVinci Resolve, the free version, but it was just so complicated he couldn't figure it out. So I'm actually thinking about in the next week or so, I'm gonna probably do a live showing kind of how I would use DaVinci Resolve for video editing for the RC world. I care less about what everybody else does. All the videos that I've sat through has nothing to do with what we do in the RC world, so you don't really need to know that stuff. You just need to know how to do the basics, and that's what I do. I know how to do all the 3D modeling in there and create the 3-dimensional objects and stuff, but just the basics on how to cut and trim your video, how to edit your audio if it's low or if it's too high, how to add transitions, how to import in files and all that stuff. But I think I'm going to probably do a live on that. Yeah, it was brain racking for me too, but me and Thompson RC have a really good friend, Derrick from Derricks AZ RC, that he was an avid DaVinci Resolve person, and he was adamant on, being that I live down the street from him, that I use DaVinci Resolve. So he was like, yeah, you need to use this. It's awesome. And then he wouldn't show me anything how to do anything with it. So I had to figure it out on my own. So most of all my video editing is done through there. My YouTube shorts I actually do through my phone. So most of that is all done with using YouTube itself, just uploading my file and trimming it and doing it that way. But I have made some YouTube shorts through DaVinci Resolve. Some of my longer stuff. The last one I just did with the 3D printer, printing the duck, I actually did all of that and sped it up through DaVinci Resolve. So I think I'm going to probably do it. I probably won't have a lot of people on it, so I'll talk through it. And if anybody wants to watch on how I do it and how that happens, I'm actually not going to do it through my desktop. I'm going to set up my laptop and I'm going to download the freeware version of DaVinci Resolve and show how that operates, because that's how any of you guys, if you decide to do it, or if Nitro's going to do it, he's going to do it that way and use the free version. So you won't see all the other stuff you get with their upgraded version that you pay for. I know that that's not really going to be beneficial to anybody, but I'll show you. And it's kind of cool. It recognizes if I pull video from my phone and transfer it to my computer, or if I pull a video like I'm doing now from my webcam, or if I'm doing it from my GoPro and I take that footage in, it's all got different levels, and it converts it all into the same format, and it'll pick the best format out of all of your video. And it's usually the lowest format. So like if you happen to record in 720 on your computer, but your iPhone or your cell phone footage is in 4K, and you film in 4K on your GoPro, and you put all that into there, it will only allow you to edit it in 720. Now you can upscale it in there to 4K, but it does get pixelated when you do that. So that's just something you have to be concerned about. But you know what? Primarily everything we do doesn't all necessarily need to be in 4K. But I figured I'll start off with a little basics on how to use DaVinci Resolve for editing RC videos, and we'll do that. So be looking forward to that. I'm going to do a live on that one. Yeah, so I know Nitro Freak, he'll be interested in that. It's a lot better than some of the other stuff once you learn how to use it. And not to mention, if you have any issues with it, you can just reach out to me and I can tell you how to do most things on it. I'm not like a professional video editor, but I know some of the ins and outs on how to do it. I like it because I can adjust the sound down and speed up a video, and then put a music behind it. I can adjust the music volume levels. I can cut my music and have it fade down in certain areas when I want to talk. Well, we're printing over here. Maybe I should go to that camera so we can see how that looks. It looks like I have an issue right here. There may have been some build nozzle. And you know that issue that's happening in the back right there, Fonzie, that might be some leveling issue. I might have to look at my bed leveling on that side. When it comes to editing Nitro, I don't really care for it, but I do it, especially if I've got 5 hours of video that I need to turn into a 30-minute bash video. Uh, well, the squares seem like they're looking a little bit better, though. I guess I need to be more concerned about that than the brim that's traveling around it. Yeah, Thompson, it's no fun editing on a phone. I mean, hopefully, if I can put that together so you guys can see how I do the editing when it comes to editing the video. And pretty much I'm going to use it. I'm going to take some video of a 3D printer, and we're going to I'm going to use that as the basis to edit. So I'm going to show you guys how to speed up a video so you can get like speed vision. And then I've got some raw footage of an RC jumping that I can show you guys how to slow down the footage. So as it comes off of a ramp, you can slow down the footage. So that's just changing the speed, showing that function. And then basic clipping and showing you the different transitions you can use, both audio and video wise. Your laptop's a relic, yeah. That's one of the hardest parts about video editing, is that you got to have at least a decent graphics card because it uses a lot of graphics memory. All right. Well, this is almost done. And I think I've bored you guys enough with my 3D printing today. It's got about 2 minutes left on this print, and then we'll get this wrapped up. I didn't know what else to talk about, so I kind of decided to show you guys some of the 3D printing stuff. What's up, Raymond? Welcome into the chat. Thanks for stopping by. How are you doing today? You know, I can't knock the phone video editing, Thompson. Some of the bigger channels out there, that's all that they use. You know, they did everything from their phone. That looks kind of funny for that center square. That's some buildup right there. Yeah, that's some buildup right there on the side of that square in the center. Well, Fonzie, if you ever decide to branch that way as your channel starts to grow, you'll be able to watch that live I'm going to do and see the basics of how to use DaVinci Resolve, because it's a free program you can download. It's no cost to you, and it's one of the better free video editing softwares that's out there if you know how to use it. All right. It's got this square and one more square to do, and then it's this will be done. Yeah, Fonzie, the biggest thing about that software is that it's intimidating, because it's kind of like getting out of an old school vehicle and climbing into a spaceship style automated vehicle. There's so many bells and whistles. What's up, Backwoods Boys Small Engines? How are you doing, brother? Thank you for stopping by. I guess I will bring you guys back up front. Not bore you guys with watching my 3D printer print crap right now. So yeah, so pretty much this is what I've been doing, is messing with this, trying to figure out, I'm getting the better printing out of it so I can finish up my second video. I just put that nozzle and extruder head in. I just put that in yesterday and started working on the print. So this is only the second day of it. So I got another couple of days, I think, of messing around with it to get all the settings done properly so I can finish that video and get that out there. And then I've got a couple of more things to do, but I got the AZRC Bashers Bash coming up here on the 28th of October. I've got to get some tires on my wife's Outcast. On the other side of this mess behind me right here, you can kind of see it. That is Derrick from Derricks AZ RC's Mojave that I started redoing and getting that ready for him. And getting ready. And then I got some bashing to do at the end of the month here. Backwoods Boys, I've been doing good. We just been doing a lot with the 3D printer. Haven't really been going live. Nobody went live earlier that I was wanting to watch. So I decided I was sitting here twiddling my thumbs. And while I was waiting for something to finish 3D printing, some of my testing and all that stuff that I've been showing on this live, I just decided to go live and do that. Well, if there's anything you guys want to talk about, you're more than welcome to talk about that. If we want to talk about something other than 3D printing, I can open up the panel if anybody wants to jump up on the panel. I've been going strong for about 2 hours now, so we'll see. I didn't really see anybody else live currently that we can go channel raid. Well, there's the link if anybody's interested in coming up on the panel. Other than that, I will probably continue rambling on. Backwoods Boys, he doesn't know he's running errands right now. He's out and about with the wife, getting his honeydew list done and doing running some errands. So he was planning on doing a live, but he doesn't, as of right now, he doesn't know whether or not he's going to be able to do it or not. He's got a lot of stuff on his plate today. Hey, Fonzie, thanks you for hanging out with me. You're awesome, brother. I appreciate you stopping by. Definitely see you on your next one. And hopefully I can get closer in on your live next time and not come in at towards the tail end of it. But you have fun. And you got any other questions, you just ask me, brother. All right. Well, Backwoods, how's your you said you were doing some work in your garage and getting your RC stuff taken care of. How's that going? Let's see here. You could have asked the man yourself. Yeah. No, he's been in the chat off and on, but he's on his phone and doing a lot of traveling. So he's just been listening most of the time. He responds when he can, but it is what it is. He's getting it knocked out. All right. Well, all righty, guys. I am probably going to go ahead and cut this. You know, we hit the 2-hour mark, and that's usually when I get kind of tired. So we'll definitely be looking to see if anybody else goes live, and I'll see all you guys in somebody else's panel. Thompson, if you see anybody cool going live and you're going to jump in it, send me a text, dude. All righty. Well, I appreciate everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're not already. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.